If I could describe the Get My Life tour in one word, it would be vulnerability. Showing up for yourself is so important. Welcome to the Get My Life tour. I'm your host, Lydia T. Blanco. Hey y'all, and welcome to the Get My Life tour. It is me, your host, Lydia T. Blanco, and as always, I am so excited because you decided to take a step, right? You decided to show up for yourself and take center stage in your life, and that is no small task. So thank you for being here. Thank you for taking center stage, and thank you for showing up. If this is your first time tuning into the Get My Life tour, welcome. Oh my goodness. You are here because you are supposed to be here. So thank you for showing up. If this is your first, 15th, 27th, I don't know what time, thank you so much for coming back. Let me say that over again. If this is your second, third, or 15th time returning to the Get My Life tour, thank you for taking center stage yet again. I'm so glad to have you here on tour. Oh my goodness. You know what? Pace has been one of my words this week. Pace and rhythm and tempo, all of those things are so important as we do life, as we operate our businesses. You know, I often say how we live our life is our business. But as we are in community with others, I believe all of those things are so important. And that's what excites me about this stop on the tour. Oh my goodness. That and friendship and sisterhood and so many other things. Y'all know I just stay hype. I'm enthusiastic about life. But today's guests, they are phenomenal women. Yes, I said guests. Yes, I said women. That means we have a dynamic duo. And I can't wait. So let me not prolong the introduction. Help me welcome Khadijah and Kiana, the founders of K and K Group, also known as the founders of Aqua Headwear. Some of you know them, you love them, and guess what? They are here on this stop of the tour. Khadijah and Kiana, welcome to the Get My Life tour.
Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. We are so excited to be here on this stop of the tour. I love you. I love this podcast. It's my favorite. So thank you, Lydia.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having us. We're so happy to be here with you.
Yes. You know, I wanted to roll out the red carpet, give you a drum roll, confetti is everywhere right now, at least in my head, because you ladies are killing it. But, for those who aren't as familiar just of yet, let them know who you are in your own words. And Kiana, let's start with you.
Yes. So my name is Kiana. And like you said, I'm one of the co-founders of Aqua Waterproof Headwear along with Khadijah. In terms of me as a person, I am a person that is breaking cycles and I will continue to break cycles, right? I'm also here to help other people break cycles. And when I say cycles, I mean, going through and identifying things in your life that may be natural or expected based on your background, but it just doesn't serve me anymore, right? And it's something that I want to leave behind. I don't want to take it forward. I'm also a dreamer. I'm a doer. I have big dreams and I set my goals based on those dreams and I go for it. I love change almost too much at times. And I live life on my own terms. So that being me leads directly into the K&K Group and Aqua Waterproof Headwear and how, my part of it got started. And, I'll let Khadijah explain a little bit about herself and then we can tell you exactly what K&K and Aqua Waterproof Headwear are.
Thank you, Kiana. Oh my goodness. Hello, everyone. I'm Khadijah Robinson, other half of K&K Group, inventor of Aqua Waterproof Headwear. So excited. Definitely a piece of what makes me me. I am a giver, sometimes too much. I am a fixer. I am extremely empathic. So your problems, I take them on. Your feelings, I take them on. I am a sponge. At the same time, though, I'm relentless and I'm not a quitter. I don't give up. I'm a wife. I'm a sister. I'm a daughter. I'm a friend, hopefully an amazing one. I am an inventor. And I'm one half of the K&K group, and just always excited, always happy. Hopefully I try to be positive at all times. And I'm just, that's me. That's Khadijah.
And this is why I said that you ladies are phenomenal. I love how you lead with who you are, what inspires you, and what you are giving back to others. That's so profound, right? And I love that they aren't titles as well. So many people get caught up in the CEO and this and of that. I'm like, okay, that's great. I love how you lead with those things. That is so profound to me. And I really hope that those who are tuned in take that, with them, because oftentimes, especially as Black women, especially those who are in business, I think we're prompted and taught how to show up very buttoned up and, just ready to go all of the time. It's just like, okay, well, tell me more about you. And people don't know how to answer that question oftentimes. They're just like, oh, well, I work in, no, who are you? Not what do you do?
Yes, very much so.
True.
Right. It's about how you identify yourself and what you identify with. And something that my yoga instructor tells me all the time, and it's something I've been thinking about for the last few months. And she says, who are you when you're not distracted?
Oh, that's good.
Right. And it's like, right. She kept saying it and I'm like, oh yeah, that's deep. Right. But I had to stop and like really think about like, what does that really even mean? Right. And yeah. And, we talk a lot in general about, we are not our failures. We are not our mistakes. Those are things that happen in our lives. And we don't identify ourselves based on that. At the same time, we can say we are not our accomplishments. That's right. I'm happy. I'm proud. I'm proud of my accomplishments. I work for them. I can celebrate them. I can celebrate my large ones and my little wins, but do they really define me?
I love it. Wow,
I do too. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay. Khadijah, come on, give us some more.
No, it's like, so when people ask that question, you got to dig deep. For me, titles don't make me at all. It's what makes you a good person, what makes you move, what makes you wake up in the morning, what makes you, strive to do things, what drives you internally. So for me, it's more so, again, you as we grow, as we all experience different things. We've all grown up different ways. We've all had life experiences that shape us in various ways. And I just try to always remember at the core what's important in my life, what's important for me to portray, what's important for me to give to others, how I present myself to others, how I treat others. Like I said before, the giving part of me is an asset, but also a liability at the same time. So, it's more so, and we have to recognize those things about ourselves. And there's nothing wrong with it. We just have to embrace it, but we can't let things consume us at the same time. So while I do have that giving side of me, I have to tame it. And I have to remember to allow myself to, one, I have to be kind to myself as well as I'm kind to others. But at the same time, you just can't let things take advantage. People take advantage of you. Your emotions take advantage of you. Other people's time take advantage of your time and things of that nature. So I just, like I said, as far as who I am, I like to think I'm a kind person. I like to think that I am an ambitious person. I am a forgiving person. And I'm motivated and driven, but being the founder and inventor of Aqua is amazing, but it doesn't make me me. What made me got me to this point of being an inventor and an entrepreneur and co-founder of K&K Group.
I really appreciate that. You ladies being who you are led us to one another, quite honestly, right?
Yeah.
We connected on Instagram, which I really appreciate, right? Being able to actually have online experiences that we can take offline and really build a relationship. I know this to be true about both of you. You value doing good business and you value building strong relationships. When I said, hey, like, let's take this conversation offline and I want to be able to talk to you about this, you're like, yes, of course. And we made it happen. Right.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that has come to mind, because we have to talk about how you ladies met, is that friendship is important to you. Let's talk about friendship, right? And the origins of the K&K group.
Let's talk about it.
So wait, I'm so sorry. Khadijah tells this story better than I could ever even attempt, right? But what I will jump in and say before you go there is when you were introducing yourself, you said, I am a good friend. At least I hope I am. And I am here to say you absolutely are. You should never even, this is just the humbleness in her. You should never even have to question if you are a good friend and a good person. You obviously are.
Oh my goodness.
Kiana. Oh, thanks, girl.
But yeah, go ahead and tell your busted story.
Okay. It's the truth. Like, Kiana does not like hearing the truth for some reason. But when I tell this story, she I don't know, she loses her memory a little bit. So Kiana and I met our freshman year at Temple University. We lived on the same floor. I lived in a lounge. It was a converted lounge that they turned into a dorm room because housing was overpopulated. And Kiana lived across the hall. So one day, back in the day, and you're in college, everyone leaves their doors open. So it's hot. There wasn't any air conditioning. So everyone's door is always open. So people are always popping in, saying hi, and just being friendly. One day, I popped into Kiana's room after I saw her coming out of an English class that we had. I didn't know she had the same English teacher. I just recognized her face because I knew she lived on my floor. And I'm like, oh my goodness, that girl, we live on the same floor. And she's coming out of this English teacher. Not going to give him any props. Not going to talk about him. But not going to go there. But later on, I'm walking through the hallway and I see her doors open and I pop in and I'm like, hi, I'm Khadijah. I live in the lounge. I noticed that you have the same English teacher as I do. I wasn't sure if you wanted to do the reading together. And, if you want to, just let me know. I live right here. Kiana turns around from her computer and literally gives me the look of like death. And she just like pauses, looks at me, and then says, no. I could not believe it. I was like, oh, excuse me?
Kiana.
Mind you, every time she tells the story, an additional detail is added, right? Like an additional detail. Oh my gosh.
And so I went on, and I had a roommate at the time, and she's like, girl, come on. Everybody doesn't want to be your friend. Like let's just go. And so I don't know how it happened. I'll let Kiana tell how it happened, I guess. But eventually we became friends, and like the best of friends. Like Kiana had me involved in NABA. She was the president of the student organization, National Association for Black Accountants. I was a marketing major, not an accountant by any means, but this was the pop-in organization on campus, and Kiana was reviving it. And she knew that I like people and I'm a people person. So she said, hey, come help me do this. But I'll let you take it from there, Kiana, if you want to.
So, I mean, there is some truth to Khadijah's story. I certainly, granted, speaking of no air in the dorms, that dates us right there, right? We won't say what year that was. We didn't have air conditioning in the dorm in the summer, waking up like air sticking to you. But, I do remember her offering her book to me, and I probably didn't have the book and was embarrassed that I didn't have it, right? Money was probably tight, and I was probably trying to scrounge up some pennies to go to the used bookstore and get the book. So here I am like, oh my gosh, she's put me on blast for not having the book. I can get my own book. I don't need her book. So, there is probably a little bit of truth, but I certainly was not mean to her. Yeah.
Because that's what happened. You said, no, you don't have the book. And I was like, oh, no, you can use my book. I already did the reading. You can use my book. Right. And she literally said, no, thank you.
Oh.
Like, okay.
But look, deeper meaning there, I struggled for years with accepting help. So not even we're not even talking about asking for help, just legit, just accepting help when it's offered.
That's the word.
So yeah, certainly 17-year-old Kiana, the place I was at that point, absolutely not. No, thank you. I got it.
Lesson learned was you can't judge a book like by its cover. At the end of the day, she's an amazing person. She is the nicest, sweetest person on earth. But that one encounter and me internalizing things and making it about myself, and clearly it was not about me. And another lesson learned through life, everything's not about you. So that it just, I don't know, we just blossomed. And then next thing you know, we're in her room dancing to Napster.
Listen, Napster on top of the desktop.
Oh my goodness. That was one of the platforms where you could get free music, right?
Yes, Lydia.
Yes.
No,
Yes. We understand.
No. Let me tell you something. I would be so upset if I was not a Black woman, right? And I say that with all due respect and quite frankly, braggadociously, because we just have a different experience with aging and beauty and a number of other experiences. And the reason why I'm saying this is because no one would ever be able to place you by age anywhere. Like, Kiana, you look like a baby doll. Khadijah, you're just like all this glam and like what? Like you guys look ageless. Like you guys got the whole Gabrielle Union thing going on. And I know you're not even in her age group, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
I say, don't put us there.
You're not there. You're not there. You're not there
yet.
You're not there. I was trying to think of somebody younger, maybe a Beyonce. I don't know. Lloyd, I don't
Beyonce.
know. Okay,
that's
cool.
That's our age.
Right. Cool. Y'all are so dope. Right. But I appreciate these gems that you are sharing, right? Number one, don't judge a book by its cover and be open to receiving help. How many of us have done those two things, been off, right? Like just completely off, like, not receiving, not open to anything, or better yet, closed, right? Closed off. And then having these experiences and taking it personal, right? We learn in the 4 agreements, don't take anything personally, but it is difficult because we're humans, right? We're spiritual beings and we're penetrated by different energies and whatever the case may be. But I love that part of your story. And I think it's so important, especially as you ladies do business together, right? Because they say that Black women can't be in business together. You can't be in business with your friends. And we're always fighting one another and fault finding and all these other notions that are true for some. But when we look right to our greats, that's not always the case. And you ladies are amongst our greats.
Oh, thank you. You are so sweet. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm so serious. Let's talk about it, right? How have you both been able to balance friendship and business?
I'll let Kiana take that one.
That's a good question. And I think it goes back to just who we are as people, right? And I'll take it a step back and say a part of me breaking cycles is exactly kind of, what you said in terms of Black women and our relationships, right? And certainly my family has a history of interest in relationships, right? So that's a part of me breaking cycles, right? So it's so deep, what you said, it goes back to that. But us being friends, that means we do know each other well. And no, we don't always agree. No, right?
And
we know
always agree.
No, and we
shaking her head like no,
absolutely not. That girl is crazy. That's what she's saying. That girl is crazy, right? But we can sort of sometimes anticipate the points where we don't agree, that we won't agree. And we've learned how to talk each other through those things. And we've learned how to give grace to ourselves and to each other, right? In those moments. And we've had to learn over the years, right? Because both both of us now at this point, we know like, okay, that was legit my issue. Khadijah walked into this situation and she had no idea. And I remember clearly this one time she didn't understand something. And then I'm on the phone and I was so frustrated the way I was explaining it to her. And then I said, you know what, Khadijah, I'm sorry. I was overseeing Mia, who's my almost 5-year-old daughter, on a Zoom call, and she wasn't paying attention. And I was pissed off at her. And instead of me taking the time to talk to my daughter first to calm myself down, I immediately got on the phone with Khadijah and I took my frustrations out on her. I could have easily said, she's annoying. Why is she asking me these crazy questions? But I checked myself and I said, you know what, Khadijah, I am sorry. And I explained what happened, right? So again, we know each other well. We love each other. So we lead with love. And we know we won't always agree. But at the end of that conversation, even if it's a sticky conversation, we stay on the phone until we get to a better place.
Like and by
the end of that conversation, we're cackling and laughing. Right. And that's just our process.
Yeah. And I remember that day so clear because another thing that makes us different and causes strain sometimes is Kiana's very analytical. She is a CPA by trade. So she does numbers. She has these beautiful spreadsheets that do all this crazy stuff and they read off of each other and she sends them to me. And I am like, I can't do this. Like, I don't know what this is. I'm clicking the cell. It's changing this. I can't do this. So I like to talk. I talk things out. So if I'm a talker, Kiana will read. She'll read an email thoroughly. She'll read a process. And then I'm the person that will see that process and just be like, oh, wait, so how do you do this? And she's like, read it.
I love that. We get a little left brain, a little right brain.
Yes.
But together it's very powerful.
Yeah. And I felt like that day I was asking so many questions because I also really need to understand. I don't want to have to keep asking you things. So I'm inquisitive. So I'm like, how does this work? And she's numbers. And I just want to understand what it is. So I thought that my questions were the problem because I was asking so many and she was getting irritated because I didn't understand the spreadsheet and I didn't understand where some of these numbers were pulling from. So when we got off the phone, I'm like, okay, that was a little crazy, but I think she may be having a bad day today. So I'm gonna let it go. And then she responded and I thanked you for that. I said, oh my gosh, thank you for responding to let me know that because I was so confused. And we kept going about our business. We laughed about it and just went on.
Okay, so 2 things. Let's make it 3. I love how in tune you are with one another and how honest you are with one another. And I think those things are extremely important in friendship and in business. I am taking that with me. Now, Kiana, what you're not going to do is pick up the mic and drop it and throw it around like that because we only halfway through this stop on the tour, okay? So before I have to send you an invoice, no, I'm kidding. This is awesome. But you said you have to anticipate the points where we do not agree and have a conversation about it. Look, if you don't take anything else from this stop of the tour, take it. It is free. Anticipate the points where you can find areas where you won't agree and have a conversation about it. That is good. It's so applicable to so many different areas of life, whether you're in business, whether you're a professional. I really feel like it, really shows up in our relationships, whether they're platonic or romantic. And Khadijah, I don't want to have to send you an invoice either. I think I'm going to just send an invoice to K&K Group, clearly, because y'all are in this together, right? But the notion of leading with love, but also, right, it goes back to that not taking things personally, right? I appreciate the apology. I didn't realize where you were coming from, right? There's always 2 ends of the spectrum, right? Or 2 sides of the story. But in a marriage, as you said, Khadijah, right, there has to be some kind of balance and honesty. And that goes a very long way. How long have you ladies been in business together?
Woo, okay. The crazy part is in college, we told ourselves that we would go into business together. I don't know what it was about one another, but we just knew that we would work together, and we knew we would invent something, because back then it was all about inventing the next big thing that was going to make you a millionaire. So Kiana and I had a list of insane ideas that we've been developing since freshman year. And finally, as we got older, we went to our careers. We developed different skill sets. We developed friendships and networks that had lots of resources for us. And then one day we got a bright idea. And in the midst of all the other ideas we've had, we were just trying to find that one that we could actually pounce on, that we could fund ourselves, that we could bring into fruition. And we were really passionate about it. And we just knew it was going to work. And that day, what was that, in 2004, 2006? No, 2016 or 14? Yes.
No, 2015. Yes.
2015, I called Kiana and I said, I have it. I got it. And from there, literally, all I had to do was tell her that. And she just ran with all the business stuff. We got our name, we got our LLC, we got everything. And then I set up meetings with attorneys, and we just started.
That is the perfect segue to talk about the empire, really, that you are building. Let's claim it, right? Like,
yes.
Come on, empire. Come on.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because there are so many, oh my goodness, divisions within the beauty industry and hair care and all these other things. But what you ladies have invented, and I love the fact that you all are inventors. Okay, let's talk about that real quick. This is not just about being a founder, a CEO, and this and that. You ladies are like inventors. That is next level.
Thank you.
That's real. Like,
thank you.
I know, it's crazy.
Like, you thinking me? Y'all did the work. Hello, somebody.
So crazy. Like, just to think about having a patent and just, it's crazy. Less than, was it 10% of patent holders are Black women?
Less than, yes.
Less than, yes.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I get to say, I know inventors. 2 of them. Hello, somebody. 2. That is major. I feel like I've watched so many infomercials and seen so many packaged bundles within these infomercials about patenting a project and and becoming an inventor. And I'm like, okay, what is the likelihood of these things being approved? I want, of course, want to know more about that process, but let's talk about your business. Come on, drum roll, please. Let us know. Let us know how you're preserving edges and saving hairstyles.
Okay, so crazy part. On vacation, I've been natural. Lydia, I know you've been natural your whole life. But my hair has been natural for 20 years. So college, I stopped getting perms. I just stopped doing everything. So hair care was extremely important. But at the same time, Kiana and I both, we were versatile with our hairstyle. So I'd have braids, I'd have extensions, I'd have, all kinds of just curly froze. And I was on vacation and I said, I had extension at the time and my natural hair was a little bit left out at the top. And I was on vacation with a boyfriend at the time and he wanted to go surface snorkeling. Even though with surface snorkeling, you're like, my hair is going to get wet. This is crazy. And I literally put a baseball hat on and said, I'm just going to do this. Like, I can't be embarrassed. Like, if my hair gets wet, the curly hair is going to look different from the leave out. And I'm
right. Like, blending matters.
Yes. And I'm like, so I put literally a baseball hat on. And people were looking at me like I was crazy. And I'm sitting here like, there has to be a better way to do this, because then I had to go back and do my hair all over again and fix it before we can go out to our next, whatever we were doing. It was just so embarrassing and ridiculous. So
how did the hat work out though? We want to know what happened when you went snorkeling.
It was soaking wet. The hat was wet. Even though I didn't dunk my head under the water, it's still like the curly hair was different from the hair that was on my head when I took the hat off, because my hair still got wet. And I just said, this is crazy. So I had to go back and do my hair all over it, wash it, get the salt out of my extensions, and then style it all over again. It took about 2 or 3 hours. And I said, there just has to be a better way. Like, there should have been a way that I could put all of it up and still look really cute and be stylish and it be waterproof. And I won't and not worry. And then when we got back on the boat, I could just take it off and still be cute. So I came back and I told Kiana the idea and I was like, I got it. waterproof turbans. We can do this. They don't exist. We Googled, we did everything. We looked far and wide, but then we realized why they don't exist. Because it's very hard to do.
Exactly. Exactly.
The patterns don't exist, then Kiana, you can go from there.
Well, so Lydia, you are definitely going to have to send us an invoice because totally stealing blending matters. You will see that everywhere. We are using that. Send us an invoice.
Got you. I
deserve credit for that.
Yes, blending matters.
Okay, I've had a few escapades. I was just like, "Ooh, I don't look like myself," and no one deserves to see me this way.
No one deserves to see it, and they don't have to anymore, right? So yeah, when Khadijah came back and she shared the idea, I said, you know what? This is it, right? Again, because like she said, we had a long list of ideas, and some of them were not inventions. We had ideas to open a laundromat and a beauty supply store, right? Because at the time, yes, it was going to be like a lit laundromat for sure.
So fancy.
But even with like the Black beauty supply store at the time, there weren't really any Black owned ones, right? So anyway, if you have a thought, like act on it, right? Because we can talk about all the ideas we had that we didn't execute on that now exist in the market, right?
I don't talk about it. Yep. And we said, not anymore.
That's
not anymore, right? So yeah, so she came back with the idea and I said, let's do it, right? Because how many times in life have I been on vacation or whatever, or just out and about, and I don't want to do things because I fear getting my hair wet, or even just out in the rain, right? Like the rain is something we should appreciate, but we can't always appreciate the rain. And how many times have I left the hair salon, right? Because I've been natural off and on, right? So, you know, sometimes I wear my hair naturally, but then I start to wear it straightened again. And that first time you get your hair straightened after wearing it naturally for a long time, if it's the summertime, at least on the East Coast,
that humidity.
You go outside and you look like a cotton ball 30 seconds later. That's my hairstylist's term.
Yes. Tried to straighten it. So
looking like a cotton ball. How many pictures do I have? Right. So I'm like, yes, there has to be a way. So, and like Khadijah said, we thought it was easy. And we said, oh yeah, this is something that won't cost that much money. We can do this. Right.
Why?
Wait, we got to get some material. Go to Joann Fabrics, get some material, find somebody to sew it. We're good.
No, you know, I could only imagine. So you ladies have this patented product, right? Mm-hmm. Less than 10%. Are you ladies dealing with people overseas, or are you homegrown?
No, we are manufactured in the United States. So that was the main goal for us. We wanted to make sure our items were made in the US. The only thing we did find is when I say we went to a million trade shows, we attended, oh my gosh, it was so crazy, the amount of money we spent traveling to trade shows and just trying to get fabric and everything. And then finally it came down to the point where it just didn't exist. So we started learning about technical fabrics and what makes fabrics waterproof, what makes them breathable, because we needed it to be breathable because we didn't want you to sweat. And we needed it to be stretchy and soft because we didn't want it to damage your hair. And we just couldn't find anything. So we attended this one expo in New York for small batches. And it just so happened that the one company we did find was not in the US. And that's who helped us actually get the material. And so we had to source the material and figure it out and make sure it was waterproof and all that kind of stuff. That took years. And then we finally, when we said everything has to be made in the United States. So our manufacturers are here, our plants are here, our label makers are here, our seamstresses are here, everything's here. And that was important to us to keep jobs and everything in the US. It's more expensive, but it's okay.
That is so on point. And I appreciate you saying it took years. So many of us have these great ideas And we think it'll be just as simple as going on Alibaba or AliExpress. And
we thought so too.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'll get 3,000 for 25 cents and I'll do it myself. And you have a finished product, or it's just like, what happened? Right. But it took years. Traveling, the investments, it sounds like you ladies made, right? To be where you needed to be. And then going on that journey together, right? Shared responsibility, making sure that you're maintaining your relationship as business partners, as friends, but you both are married women, right? And you have your own families. Who is it? Brown Rice.
My baby.
Yes, and baby girl. You guys are holding it down. I have to ask, because as much as I want to get into like the business and the numbers and all the other stuff, what is more important to me is the fact that how we live our lives is our business, right? How have you ladies been able to show up for yourselves as you do business and still maintain all of those really important relationships around you?
I will say this. I'm going to start, Kiana. I don't know how people don't have business partners. Like, I honestly, it's at least business partners that is your friend and that you love and you like. People tell us all the time, I don't, like you said earlier, I don't know how you're in business with someone. How do you have a business partner? It has to be awful. You have to, share the knowledge and the decisions and da, da, da. And I will say, financially, splitting the bill 50-50 is amazing. Two, we have such different skill sets. The things that Kiana does for our company, I can't do. And I'm not going to say it'll take me a long time to sit here and learn it, or it'll cost me millions of dollars to try to get it done by someone else. And it's just like, and then the times that you're frustrated, or the times that you have been let down and you were excited, but then something didn't turn out right. And you can vent to your friend, and you have this friend who knows you so well, who loves your business, who is in this with you through thick and thin, 50-50. It's the best thing in the world. I just don't understand how. And I think we're just blessed and fortunate that we have our friendship, we have each other. And the way that it happened, I really believe it was meant for us to be, because I didn't give up trying to be her friend. And I didn't understand why she didn't want to be my friend when we first met. And I kept trying, and we just clicked. And she's like my mom. My mom's a CPA. My mom and Kiana resemble. Like, it's just.
Oh my gosh, I love her mom. Like,
yeah, there's very similar. So I will say that part, Kiana, you can go ahead.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with everything you just said. And then what I'll say on top of it is, just personally for me, outside of, what we have together as a team, is learning that I need to work for myself the same way I would work for someone else. Because, I spent years, like Khadijah said, I have a background in accounting. So I've done a lot of external audit, internal audit, and I moved into nonprofit. And I was always a top performer, always a high performer, never a time where I rarely even ever had, like, I can probably think of one time in my entire career where I had negative feedback. I'm sure Khadijah can give me a whole list of things, right? But it took me to say, well, why are you working so well for other people? Are you working the same way for yourself? And not even for myself in business, but for myself in life, right? If I set goals for myself personally, or there's things I want to do, why not treat those the same way that I would treat if I was working for someone else, right? And the thing about, accountability, we have a built-in accountability partner, right? Granted, we each have our own methods for, where we get our energy, and different people outside of each other, but we keep each other accountable as well.
That's good.
Which is another benefit of having a partner.
And I don't know, I have to say though, I don't know how Kiana does it with a family, like a living human baby. Because I will be honest, that's one of the reasons why I have not ventured down that road. And I work full time too. So I have a full-time job. So I work during the day, and then at night I'm up till 4 a.m. doing Aqua and working for K&K. So I do have to take a minute sometimes and say, Kiana has to tell me, Khadijah, go to bed. Like, just stop. Put the computer down. Stop texting me. I'm not responding.
Yeah, I purposely don't respond. Even if I'm awake, like she's like, I know you're asleep. And I'm like, I'm not, but I'm literally just not going to respond to you because I know that means you're going to stay awake. But it's interesting that Khadijah earlier said like the things that I do, she can't do. Or I'm over here whispering and vice versa. Right. Yeah. So she thinks it's crazy that I have a 5-year-old tomorrow and doing this business. I can't imagine working full time and doing this business. That's actually one of the reasons why I left my job, in addition to wanting to be home with my daughter during those early years. That's also around the time we started K&K. Like the way I work is like Khadijah would be like, what is the deal? Why don't I hear from you? When I'm at work, I'm at work. You don't hear from me. I had some very unhealthy habits when I was working in an office, right?
I was about to fire her from King.
Yeah, yeah. But I just have very unhealthy, like the way I work can be very unhealthy at times. So I have to balance that, right? I know that I have the ability to focus really good and really strongly, right? But that also turns into, oh, I didn't have lunch and I haven't gone to the bathroom and it's 2-3 o'clock. I don't do that anymore. Thankfully, I don't do that anymore, but I used to.
And that's real. I've definitely operated that way. I still have to remember to take walks around the apartment or go outside, take oatmeal on an extended walk. That is very real. And I'm so glad that you mentioned that and that you have one another to be accountable to. That is so key. And Kiana, I'm also appreciative of you bringing up the fact that you identified unhealthy work habits and you were adamant about not letting that really, transcend into how you are doing business. Someone needed to hear that. Oh, I'll be that someone. Okay. And it is so true. I am this budding media entrepreneur who at some points are like, oh, I may have to go back into the workforce and blah, blah, blah. Right. But in figuring it out, it is so important to have these kinds of conversations, right? We don't have all of the answers, right? Being in community and relationship, being willing to humble yourself to receive advice and information and mentorship is so key. I'm so glad you said that because there are so many women and men who tune in who identify as entrepreneurs, whether they're established or emerging or aspiring, but they've left their 9-to-5 with unhealthy work habits and they're wondering why, right? They aren't successful.
Yes, exactly. So true. Mm-hmm. And Kiana is like, at the end of the day, I will say, I didn't understand at first because I was balanced. I thought I was anyway. So when we first started, I worked full time. I had a job, but I worked from home a lot. And I will fall guilty even in meetings. Sometimes I'm like checking my phone. I do it. I'm guilty. Sue me. And Kiana was not that way. And I did not understand, again, making it about myself. I was like, I need access to you right now. Immediately, you need to pick up this phone because there was decisions that needed to be made. And I didn't want to make them stop like solo because we were a partnership. So if it came down to, responding to the lawyers or getting back to the people who were helping us with prototypes, I at the time, I just had to take a step back and say, okay, I'm just going to make the decisions and me and Kiana can talk about it later. And we'll talk about the dynamic of how we are comfortable with responding and who is more comfortable, with who's saying and doing what. And at the end of the day, it just ended up working. And when she quit her job, I did the happiest dance on the planet because I just did not understand how somebody could just not respond to you all day long. I'm like, you see a text message come through, just respond. Like, even if you just say, Khadijah, I'll talk to you later. I'm like, girl, what's wrong with you?
But let's be real. Like Khadijah's being super nice because that still happens today, right? So it's also part of the personality, but it's learning. It's learning how learning about each other, right? So I share my schedule, and Khadijah knows, and I remind like the times where I legit am like dark when I'm with my daughter at times, like legit, I can't look at the phone. And other times if Khadijah is texting me, I will get back to her right away because I know. I know. Like
I don't understand that because even with Nia, I'm like, you can't just respond. So again, I'm not a mom. So I don't understand what it's like to just and I'm an immediate responder. So it's if you get something from me, I'm sure Lydia, you've experienced it.
You are prompt, okay? You would think that Khadijah was an automated service, okay? Like they need to have like a feature, like, hey, Khadijah, like, hey, Siri, okay? And it's great that your name is Khadijah because we would automatically know this is like for us. Okay, and my phone just went off because she thought I was really talking to her. So
that's so funny.
That's hilarious. Like that's how, yeah.
I really appreciate how candid and transparent you ladies are, right? I can only imagine how many people want to go into business with someone and the many reservations that a lot of people have. My hope is that in hearing from you ladies, they'll feel more at ease about that decision and have different information and a different perspective about how they can do business themselves, right? Both personally and professionally. So thank you. All right, look, we have been going for some time and I feel like I have so much of your time, but I don't because you have lives. But I have to ask two more things before I let you go. And I know I'm not the only one who wants to hear more from you, but what has been a get my life moment? And maybe it's one that you've shared in business or, you know, ones that have been personal as you guys have been doing business together. I'll give you a second, but you know, whenever you're ready, I would love to know what that was and how you worked through it.
That's a good one. There's been so many, but Kiana, I think you know which one I'm thinking about. So
yeah, from a business perspective, we had a huge get my life moment at the end of kind of at the end of last year. We mentioned that we're manufactured in the US and we've worked with a few different people in terms of building our samples and our prototypes. And
it's been hard.
We've had a lot of challenges, right? Par for the course, right? And I was talking to one of my good friends, who's also my hairstylist, very, very successful businesswoman. And you know, she heard me over the years talking about all the challenges, right? And then because of COVID, they increased our prices by a crazy amount. Won't even say the amount here, right? Don't want to throw anybody under the bus because that's not appropriate. But she said, well, Kiana, why don't you guys manufacture yourself? And I said, well, we can't do that. The machines are like so complicated. And I came up with all of these excuses in the moment. And then she said, well, just think of being a good friend, saying, well, just think about it. And I went home and I, again, checked in with myself and said, this is not who you are, right? You're not a person that comes up with excuses and reasons why and shoots ideas down. But what you are is a person who knows how to use a spreadsheet.
Come on, spreadsheet, Miss Excel.
Okay, pulled up my spreadsheet.
You put that spreadsheet together.
Boom, boom, boom. Did some research, right? Did some very quick research on a few things. Salaries for seamstress, cost of the machines, right? Because we knew that the type of machines that our manufacturers use because we're nosy when we visit the factories and we write this stuff.
Always be learning.
Always be learning, okay? Mm-hmm. So I was able to put together a very, very like back of the envelope type of financial projection and show that we really can save a lot of money in addition to the amount of control that we would bring to our operation. And then just it will open up so many doors and give us so many opportunities to create additional jobs directly, right? One of the areas I personally shine is in managing teams and managing people, right? And it just made so much sense. And honestly, I was like, oh my God, Khadijah's not gonna like the idea. She's not gonna like the idea. Like, how do I say, like, right? How do I say this in a way that she's not going to be resistant the way I was? And she was like, oh my God, I love it. This is amazing.
Yes.
So that was just a huge aha for us. I mean, it's so many lessons learned, like even within the small details of it. So we are bringing manufacturing in-house, and that is just
Philadelphia.
Come on.
Our hometown. Well, my hometown. Kiana's a transient. She's from Delaware, but that's okay. She stayed in Philly after college. So, and the crazy part is that conversation that we were talking about, where Kiana had no patience and no time for me and my questions. That was this conversation.
Wow.
So she bought the idea. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh,
Kiana.
wait, no, I don't remember that. No,
yeah,
okay.
And you were going through this spreadsheet, and you were saying, you had your how much the profit could be, and I'm asking, well, do you take into consideration lease and how much is going into the rent and how much is going to affect the price of the products, and did that capture it in? And you're just like, wait a minute, let me finish. And I'm like, okay, I will write my questions down and I will ask you later. And it was an aha moment, like, oh my goodness, we can do this. Our goal is to keep jobs in the United States and give opportunities to people who at the end of the day, we really want to help people that look like us to understand that you can do this, and you can help people, you can create jobs, you can improve your community. And we said we want to make sure we go into a hub zone. I'm from West Philadelphia. There's so many.
That's right. These opportunity zones. That was one of the first things that came to mind when you said you're going home. Mm-hmm. Opportunity zones, all these initiatives by these different government agencies. I'm like, oh, this sounds like the perfect opportunity. What I actually visualized was that moment at, what was it? During these town halls. I don't know why the word is escaping me, but when the president is standing on stage and he's featuring small business, there we go. No, or is it debates? No, not during debates. Why can't I think? Because we had a bad
inauguration.
No, look, I'm so politically challenged right now after the last 4 years. During those keynote addresses. Yeah. So during those keynotes that are like national town halls, and whoever can help me politically, please do email me, right? But there are moments where, like, Obama used to bring small business owners and acknowledge them, especially if they were like veteran-owned small businesses, Black-owned, all these things, right? But I see you there, right? Opportunity zones are so important for Black business owners to take advantage of, because we know gentrification is real, and who bids and who has information for contracting and all this other stuff. So that excites me. You ladies are brilliant.
Thank you.
And, I interjected with always be learning when you were speaking, Kiana, because there are so many details that we do not pay attention to as we do business or as we're in conversation with other people, right? And sometimes, people have this false sense of competition where they're looking directly at what someone is doing, but they have no strategy. And it comes from the wrong place, right? The fact that you were paying attention to the machinery in this, and you could put that back of the envelope financial, together. That is true business acumen. That's next level. That's what is setting you ladies apart as business owners. Because you're not just, talking about getting, your headwear in the next beauty supply or at this retailer. The fact that you're saying, no, we're taking full ownership, my hat is off to you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's something we want to do. We don't want to just be a name. We want to be a force in the industry and people's, just when you hear K&K or you hear, because Aqua Headwear is the first product. We have so many others under the waterproof Aqua umbrella.
Come on.
Now wait to waterproof everyone's lives. It is real.
Yes. Come on. Black people are always here for something waterproof too.
Yes, exactly. And to your point, Lydia, it's like, I actually got my background is procurement. So my background is procurement for the government. So that's how I started my career. That's how I got to know so much of how to do things. And then, like you said earlier, listening to people as they talk. So the people you network with, your friends, who you just like, oh, girl, that's just my girlfriend. But then you're like, wait, no, she's a partner at a law firm. And let's call her and ask her about, this patent stuff. And you work at what do you do with the radio station? And, and with real friends, you don't get into work all the time because you just don't, you're genuine. You just don't even want to talk about work all the time. But sometimes it's just like, wait a minute, I have a friend and we're really good friends. Let me call her. And our friends have been amazing. They've modeled for us. They're all throughout our Instagram and our website. They help, our attorney. It's been amazing. And even going through your Instagram and how we met, I like genuine people and I don't force things. So I connected with the Get My Life. I love Get Your Life tour.
Okay,
so,
number one, let's just shout out to you wearing the shirt right now because you look incredible. Okay, yes, Stan. Okay, come on. Right, I'm trying to be like you and wear a small. Okay.
I needed a medium. I was like, I should have got a medium. But
you look good.
Thank you.
So wait, I'm sorry. Did you just say you don't force friendships?
Oh, well,
Okay, let's go back to the beginning of this side of the tour.
Right.
And I feel a connection. I'm like, I don't know. I feel things and I don't know how to explain it, but sometimes I just can feel people's energy, genuine energy, something about somebody, and it draws me to that person. And that's just my personality. I don't know. I've always been that way. So yeah, I don't force it. I'll just hang around a little bit until you come around to me. I don't force you, but I will be a little, you're going to know I'm there because I'm keep poking you.
I hear you. I honestly cannot deny that I am very similar, right? But it's just that gravitational pull, right? You are able to discern what's for you and what's not. And there's nothing wrong with it. I encourage those who are tuned in, if there's someone who you feel like you're in alignment with or you admire, don't merely follow. Actually engage with that person. You never know. Now, I will say this as a disclaimer. Everyone is not like us. Right. So some people you have to really be like, I don't know. And it's hard to really get a real feel for people when you're not in the same room or you don't have any, first, second, or third connections to those people. But, take a risk, reach out to someone who you think is doing something dope and see how you can, add value to what it is that you're doing. When we connected, there was an automatic synergy. I'm like, okay, so how can I help you? And oh my gosh, even just starting with sharing one another's content, right? So our stories, commenting, liking, responding, those things matter. And as Black women, Black men, people, I don't care what color you are, doing business, that is so necessary. Support is so necessary.
It really is. And again, there was something that you said on the Get My Life tour a while ago, and it was just about giving yourself grace. And I don't know, I was going through something that day, and I was like, oh my gosh, be kind to yourself. And then there was another one where you were talking about just not caring about what other people have to say about you. Be that glitter. Go in there. If you're extra, just be extra.
Mm-hmm.
And, through life, it's like, and it's the same with how I was with Kiana. I'm like, oh my gosh, people probably think I'm so much because I'm just energetic and, I want to talk. And I wasn't always like that. I was really shy when I was young. And then I had my roommate in college. She actually helped me get out of my shell. And I will hands down, Robin, amazing. I will always thank her for that.
I love it. Ladies, you have really shined so brightly, taking center stage. You dropped so many gems. I feel like whoever is thinking about going in business with someone, this is the opportune time to act. I just feel like the conversation has been so divine and has been so rich. There have been so many things that I have written down. I'm like, okay, Lydia, don't scribble too much. At least mute yourself, right? But this has been really helpful. So many of us struggle with receiving and asking for what we need, forming and nurturing relationships, right? Showing up as ourselves and really going for what we want. When you ladies spoke about all of the business ideas that you came up with that you didn't act on that are now things, I was like, ooh, right? Let's not die with our gifts and let's not live knowing that other people decided to go for what was ours.
I love that. Let's not die with our gifts.
Man, it's a cold world out here. So many people are just like, I don't want to transition not doing what I was supposed to do. Right. And by this conversation and through following your journey, I can, attest to you ladies just like killing it. So yes.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Okay. Now I want to be mindful of everyone's time as much as I don't want to let you go, but good thing we're connected. It is time for you ladies to drop the mic. I always tell people you can go from sexual chocolate to Obama out. You can do Michelle Obama with the bangs, or Michelle Obama when she didn't say nothing at all. She was the mic drop, okay, at inauguration in that burgundy. But
did I play it? Oh my gosh.
Okay, I was like, lady, okay.
That shit gave me life. I said, oh my gosh.
I wasn't ready. No one was. She knew we weren't ready. She knew we were not ready.
She was unwrapping her hair, getting out that limo, like, let me make sure this flows.
Okay. You see why I'd be upset if I was a Black woman? Okay, anyways, I digress. It is time. And I'm so grateful. We get 2 mic drop moments. So I'll let you ladies like point at one another. Well, that's not going to be productive. I guess I should just let you go ahead. Kiana, I saw that wink. When you are ready, drop the mic.
Okay, I can go. So some standard advice, right, is to just, know what you want. Be clear about what you want. Revisit it often because it changes, right? And always make a plan. Don't compromise on what you want. Believe in yourself and go for it, right? And then what I say on top of that, and something that really works for me, is I step outside of myself and become an observer of my life at times. And oftentimes it's an observer of the conversations I'm having with myself. Because that's when I really find out what's going on. And especially I use this if something has bothered me. And I check in on why it bothered me and I explore. And that's how sometimes I can figure out, okay, that was me. Check yourself. Right. And then what I've learned is that a lot of this inner work impacts my business and how I can show up for myself and my business and how I show up in the world. So obviously you have to take action. You have to do the work. You have to do the hard work. We know we can do hard things. And then also just take the time to just get quiet and listen to what's happening.
Honestly, I mean, hands down, Kiana, you always come up with the most clever sayings. I don't know how you do it or where they come from, but I get surprised sometimes, like, oh, that was good. Like, where'd she get that from? So yes, mic drop, Kiana. So for me, for Khadijah, for myself, I will say there will be amazing highs in life and business and whatever it is you do, and extreme lows along any journey. And people will let you down. Processes won't make sense, but you can't lose yourself in that. You have to just stay steadfast. Just remember the goal, why you're trying to do what you're doing. The finish line is there. And one day, whether it's a product, a service, if you're a mom or, just at work, whatever it is that you want to do, a service, if you're volunteering, put your all into it. Because that one person that you touch, that one happy customer, that one happy client, that one happy volunteer that you just have made their life and their day, that's what matters. And remember that that's the ultimate goal. And just be kind to others always. Just try your best. And most importantly, be kind to yourself. Like I said before, give yourself the grace that you deserve. We're not perfect. We make mistakes. We get frustrated. We act out. We may not communicate the best way to our loved ones, to our family, to our friends, or to strangers. And just check that about yourself. Check it and just remember to be kind, be patient, trust the process. And there's a poem that I love and I live my life by all the times. And at the end of the day, it's just taking the main words from that poem and it's just just don't quit. Whatever you do, just don't quit. You got this. It'll be okay. You can do it. That's my little mic drop moment.
And there you have it. My goodness. You ladies have really used up all of the space on the stage so beautifully, in the way you've shown up. Transformative. Oh my goodness. I am so grateful that you said yes, that you've come the way you have. I'm like, oh, let me fix my posture. You know what I'm saying? Spiritually, physically, okay, up in business. I'm here for it. I am. I'm so grateful for you both. My goodness.
And we're grateful to be attending and along with you on this stop of the tour. This has been amazing. Like, we're honored.
Lydia, you are amazing, Lydia. Your energy is just so amazing, and we appreciate you, really. We're so grateful.
It's so comforting.
I receive
yeah, exactly, right.
I receive all of it. You know what? For those who are curious, because I'm sure they are, let them know how they can stay connected with you individually as businesswomen. And of course, Aqua, like, let them know how they can stay connected, how they can get these, oh my gosh, these turbans that twist in love, and, you know, stay with you on your journey, right?
Yeah. So, of course, www.aquaheadwear.com. Very simple. Social media, Aqua Headwear on Instagram, at Aqua Headwear on Facebook. My personal account is I am Khadijah R. I am KHADIJAHR on Instagram. And Kiana?
And my personal Instagram is Kiana, KIANA, and Muhly, M as in Mary, UHLY.
Yeah, you just put Aqua Headwear in anything, it'll pop up.
We're everywhere.
One word, Aqua Headwear. Made it easy for everybody.
Yep.
They are out here, okay? Easy to find. SEO is incredible, as well as the products. And if you'd like to stay connected with the Get My Life Tour, of course, visit the getmylifetour.com. Connect on all social platforms, with the exception of Twitter, because it is at Get My Life Tour, since the Get My Life Tour was too long. And if you'd like to stay connected with me and follow my journey as a journalist and just a lifestyle enthusiast, be sure to connect with me at Lydia T. Blanco on all social platforms. Fun fact, on Facebook, I am at by Lydia T. Blanco. I am not accepting personal Facebook friend requests. It's just a thing of mine, you know? So I just want to make that known here, because I've gotten a couple. But of course, engage with me at the Get My Life Tour. And if you want to receive updates, be sure to subscribe to the newsletter on the website. And if you have any feedback, I'd love to hear from you. But remember, be kind. Email me at joinme@thegetmylifetour.com. I hope that you've gotten what you needed and more on this side of the tour. I know that I have. I have so much to sit with, so much to implement, and so much to share. I cannot wait until the next stop of the Get My Life Tour, and for everything that these ladies have in store for all of us. Thank you again. And it has been real. Until next time, I will see you right back here. Peace.